All right, guys. The market is sideways today. It's not really doing much. We'll see if we get some good action today, but we got a sideways market right now. We got some data coming out at 8:30 Eastern time. We have import-export prices, Empire State Manufacturing Index data. So we got some stuff coming out. Yeah, I don't know what it's going to look like, but we'll see. Nasdaq's down slightly, but pretty sideways. I think 19,000 is a pretty big level here. 19K. You know, yesterday we talked about some level. What was our levels on the Nasdaq yesterday? Try to see what our levels were yesterday. We posted this. Levels yesterday for Nvidia, we had a level of 116 as a high. Yeah, we didn't really get over that. Kind of dipped all day yesterday for Nvidia. If we take a look at AMD, we said 100, but we should have given some downside levels. On the Nasdaq, our levels were these. And we kind of followed them, you know, but we're going to have to draw some new levels this morning. We've been mostly sideways. Look at the chop. Not really doing anything here. Yeah, I'm looking at Meta. Meta is down pretty big yesterday too. That's what the market does now. All right, so yeah, Zuckerberg facing off with the FTC over an antitrust trial. It resumed, so. Stocks, to be honest, stocks on my end look like, I'm trying to see where we closed. I think we're up slightly here. Here's the day. Yeah, we're up slightly on the day on the NASDAQ. Optimism, auto tariff reprieve boosted sentiment today, causing stocks to bounce back up a little bit, not a lot. Futures futures on the Dow up 0.03%, E-mini up 0.1% basically. Futures on NASDAQ are up 0.2%. So very small gains. Yesterday, stocks rose after a big volatile week last week. The administration said they would treat tariffs on key electronics separately yesterday, or on Friday. They announced exemptions for microchips and electronics. There's not much clarity on this though, and so one of the things you probably want to wait to see is clarity regarding all this stuff. You want to see what it all means, and if they're going to clarify what, you know, how in depth the exemptions are. We got some earnings this morning too. We got Johnson & Johnson. We've got I think Bank of America. Yeah, we got Bank of America. They already popped. They dropped 90-cent EPS versus 81 cents expected. 26.74 expected revenue. So 26.99 is what they reported. So they beat EPS, beat revenue for Bank of America. Citigroup hasn't reported yet. Johnson & Johnson beat EPS, beat revenue. PNC Financial beat EPS, beat revenue. Ericsson's beat EPS, beat revenue. So everything beat EPS, beat revenue this morning for earnings. Let's check news here, but AMD CEO says they're monitoring the tariff situation very closely. Boeing down some this morning. All right, guys, so we're at almost 19,000. Whew. Ugh. Yeah, I mean, that's not going on, Fran. My channel's honestly getting more viewers than we ever have. So, I mean, they might be doing that to you, or you, maybe a couple other people, but my channel averages like 800 to 1,000 people watching now, you know, like simultaneous viewers, you know, which is much more than it used to get. And so, yeah, that's definitely not happening, you know. Like, if you look at my viewership for my streams here, like, you can see the difference. Like, you really can. Like, you can see the difference. Like, look, here's the viewership for my normal streams. I mean, we got 270 people here already. We started like 5 minutes ago as well. But, like, look, 8,000 yesterday, 12,000 the day before, 22,000 the day before, 28,000 the day before, 9.2 thousand, 9.2, 15, 32, 12, 9, 11, 11, 7. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's rare we get a stream that has less than 6,000 or 7,000 views, and that used to be much more common. So, like, my views have gone up a lot. Feels good, man. Feels good. What news is there today? We got import-export price, New York Empire State Manufacturing data is what we have. It's not the biggest release, but it's something that comes out in about an hour. Yeah, yesterday we had consumer inflation expectations come out at 3.6%. 3.6%. That's high. 3.6% consumer inflation expectations come out. Yeah, we got housing starts for Canada coming out later, but we also have New York Empire State Manufacturing expected at minus 12.8, minus 13. We got Canadian CPI, and then we got the import-export price index. So The Empire State Manufacturing gauge is for April as well. So, we'll see what that looks like. All right, guys. Yeah, we got an hour before import-export price data. I don't know how much is going to move markets, but we'll cover it. Yeah, we got tariff stuff coming out today. I'm trying to see any other big news. Yeah, so I'm trying Gemini 2.5 Pro. All right, so market very choppy, very sideways here. I wonder if I should attack this range. Part of me wants to short it. It's still a little early for this, but I think it still might be worthwhile to attack some stuff here. What's up, guys? Let me do a poll. I think a good question is, does the U.S. enter a recession for in 2025? Yes or no? I think that's a good option for a poll. Vote on that one. What's up, Yair? S'more, Fox, Average, Fran, Mo, Jay, Sam, Sigma, Tito, George, Sam, Pawn, BT, Super, M, Joe, Venom, T, Finn, Ray, ST, Ball, The Man, Trailer, Womble, Keegan. What's up, guys? Good morning. Hope you guys are doing good. All right, so this is what Gemini 2.5 Pro says about the economy. They said plans to advance for potential tariffs on semiconductors and pharma through the president plans advance for potential tariffs on semiconductors and pharma, though a pause on auto duties is floated. High 125% tariffs on China remain a major concern for markets, despite a temporary pause on most other reciprocal tariffs announced yesterday, causing brief market euphoria. U.S. importers face shocks from China tariffs, potentially raising consumer prices and slowing growth. China alleges U.S. cyber attacks. Indonesia plans U.S. purchases to avoid tariffs. Was it yesterday that they announced the reciprocal tariffs? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Was it yesterday? I guess they probably announced something to it. Hey, good morning. What do you think about the 4-hour chart on SPY? I mean, I think it's probably going to look very much like the NASDAQ here. Yeah, I mean, I don't think this looks, you know, this just shows the crash that we've gotten. You know, market got a crash. We got a bounce. We're up to 550s. I'm slightly green today on my portfolio. Very slight. Not very much. All right, so we're rebounding back up. We're at, you know, we're right at 19K, which I think is a really interesting psychological level here. So I might actually short this. Let me get some of this stuff out the way. We will short one contract here. Very small in pre-market this morning. Just because we're under 19,000, I think we could take a couple little trades here. And remember, guys, I'm not an investment professional. I'm not liable if you lose. You know, I joke around and tell people I'm the top 3 worst trader of all time ever in the world. Definitely top 3. Don't copy me. Understand CFTC 4.41 hypothetical simulated performance have limitations, guys. Not an investment professional. I'm not liable if you lose. Always make your own assessment. Trade responsibly, guys. I might not know what I'm talking about, so don't copy me. The question is 19 going to reject here? That's what I want to know. I don't need the time in sales. All right, so here's a nice little drop. I will add to this if we get some good action here. So we just added to it. I'm going to take half of this off, lock in most of that profit because we can. Yeah, I don't know what kind of song this is. All right, we got a nice little breakdown here. Look at this. All right, we're going to go ahead and cut that too. So we just made $30 or so from it. I mean, the trend's very easy to predict here, so I don't think this is like a really hard trend. I got to change this song. I don't know what the song is. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know what song that is, dude. That song's crazy. Johnson & Johnson had earnings this morning. So J&J did have earnings. They came out. What did they show up as? Johnson & Johnson showed up at 277 versus 257. Revenue of 21.89. So they beat EPS, beat revenue, but it was by small margins, it looks like. Except for their EPS. All right, so a Reuters poll for the U.S. 10-year Treasury yield to fall at 4.21% in 3 months and 4.2% in 6 months. Albertsons posted numbers. J.P. Morgan Treasury client survey said all client surveys shows fewer outright shorts since March of last year. So that short worked really well. Yeah, like tomorrow we got retail sales data. Yeah, so we got Empire State Manufacturing Index. We're still testing the bottom of that range. I'm looking at other news again. Bank of America CFO says research team does not believe we'll see a recession. So that's good. We'll have to cover some of this stuff. Things are starting to settle down a little bit with markets, I think. All right, so we're still at the bottom of the range. All right, so the president highlighted Nvidia's $500 billion commitment to build AI supercomputers in the U.S. exclusively. Says all necessary permits will be expedited and quickly delivered to the company. Let's see if this is going to make Nvidia bounce here. This seems to be pretty good news for Nvidia. Yeah, so this is probably what's causing this pop in Nvidia. I don't know if it's going to sustain it, but we got this news that just dropped. This probably dropped a couple minutes. Like, they knew this was coming a couple minutes ago, but Nvidia didn't really go up any significant amount. They're still under 111s, so they haven't really done anything. Bank of America says remain confident on its NII outlook. Yeah, so we're still up to 18,960s. Nvidia's still bouncing though, so I mean that's good, I guess. Yeah, let me ask. Yeah, I'm checking the source. This is like some, I don't know what this is. I really don't know what, you know. You think we'll still be in a bull market? I mean, I don't know if we're in a bull market or not. The market's definitely not bullish over the last month or so. I mean, if we look at it, we're definitely not bullish over the last month or so. Here's the SPY. Here's the SPY. You know, so essentially since mid-February we've been crashing down. Like and the nasdaq as a total has dropped like 26%. The S&P dropped at its lows like 21 or 22% or something like that. So the market has been dropping a lot. Now obviously we've got some big rebounds. Okay, so the news source came from a social media platform from the president. He included the mention of expedited permits appearing to originate directly from a statement made by him, according to Street Insider. He said, Nvidia commits $500 billion to build AI supercomputers plus in the U.S. exclusively. This is very big news and exciting news. All necessary permits will be expedited and quickly delivered to Nvidia, as they will to all companies committing to be part of the golden age of America. All right, yeah, so that's the news. It must have dropped about right here at 635, and markets are going up some on it. You know, we had some earnings come out too, but nothing like major crazy, you know. Like we got import-export prices and some other stuff in about. Yeah, we got Empire State manufacturing data going live in like 45 minutes, so we'll cover that. Like we've been day trading futures. Market is in a correction and is attempting a rally. Yeah, I mean, that's basically, I mean, I don't know if it's a correction. What do you consider a correction? If this is a correction, what percentages do you consider a correction? Because again, NASDAQ 26% at its lows. That's not really a correction. That's a crash. S&P even at 21 or 22%. Not really a correction. That's a crash. Yeah, I mean, Powell speaks tomorrow, like 135 or something. All right, look at this drop. So we are dropping back down a little bit. That 19,000 level, I think, is a pretty big spot to watch. Let me see. Powell speaks tomorrow, 1:30 tomorrow. All right, so and there's another big story that came out today. It's that the president is beginning chip pharma probes, hints at possible auto exemptions. And so the president signaled a possible delay to auto tariffs this morning, adding to market relief after suspending levies on consumer tech, even as he insists there are, quote, no exceptions, and forges ahead with plans for tariffs in the pharma sector. He insisted that the levies would cover phones, computers, and other major electronics. Investors are now watching a lot of this closely. He said, quote, we are taking a look at semiconductors and the whole electronic supply chain in the upcoming national security tariff investigation. Well, we weren't down just 13% on the S&P, and at the bottom we're like 25% a few days ago. Yeah, I mean, we're still in the middle of what I would... I don't know. It depends on whether you consider us back. Again, here's like, let's put a big chart up. We'll put a big chart up. Here is the NASDAQ 100. Okay, this is the NASDAQ 100. If we put a daily chart up, this is the market we have seen since February. That is the drop. That is the pullbacks that we faced. And again, if we look at these levels from highs to lows on a percentage basis, 22,450. Again, we're at 22,450 and we dropped all the way down to 16,460s. That is a 27% drop. 27% is what that is. That's a crash, in my opinion. Now, you know, we have rebounded back up some since then. And now we are here, you know, so effectively we have rebounded back up in that regard. We're up to 19,000 right now. Or like, yeah, we're up to about 18.9s here. And so on a percentage basis, that is a decrease of 15%. So that means that we've rebounded back up about 10% from these big drops. And this was mostly due to the 90-day pause to tariffs. This was due to 90-day pause. Like, we paused tariffs for 90 days on most things, except for China, which we're still implementing tariffs on in a really aggressive way. And yeah, that's where we're at now. Now, the question is, what's going to happen moving forward, right? We don't know. And that's why it's such a volatile market right now, is because we really don't know what's going on here. You know, we don't know if the market's over, if the market's pushing, if the market's surging. All right, so look at the NASDAQ turning here. I'm wondering if there's any big news. I don't know what the news is that's dragging this down some. Interesting. Market's definitely a little quieter today. Yeah, so the president said all necessary permits will be expedited to Nvidia. Anybody know why the market's falling this quickly? Sell-off is happening right now in pre. Wow. You can follow me at Beginner Trades, Duvall. At Beginner Trades, we post all the major breaking news, at least in terms of market hours for the most part. Yeah. So, but look at this drops. So at Beginner Trades. Look at this drop, man. Market's falling quickly here. And again, we still got 40 minutes until the Empire State data. I'll put a timer up just to have it. But yeah, I don't even know if the market's going to move. We got 37.5 minutes. Put this up here. We did pretty good so far, though. We're dropping down. Hold on, let me mute this real quick. Okay. Sorry, I had to turn the music off for a second. I'm waiting to see when this market's gonna stop dropping here. Now, we're now technically red in futures on the day in the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ is now effectively red here. Yeah, give me a follow on x.com at Beginner Trades. Again, if you want to follow me, we're going to do our daily news post here right now on x.com. We kind of break everything down going on in markets. And so if you want to give me a follow, I mean, here is basically everything going on. We do this at least once a day, but usually we cover everything though. Yeah, we got like Procter and Gamble showing resilience amid the downturns. Home Depot is one that I should have bought a couple of days ago. Bank of America reported Q1 earnings. All right, so again, if you want to follow like all the stuff going on, let me update on this last thing. So there's this new update that the president There we go. All right, so yeah. See, even AI said stagflationary. It's not as bad as stagflationy, but still. Yeah, so again, if you want this big update and everything, here it is. This is like a full update and everything going on in finance this morning. Most of the breaking news right now. Check out the link right here. Great way to help support the channel. We appreciate it. I don't know what caused this drop. There's not really any news to justify it. Market's just going down. So, but there's the, give me a follow on x.com. Completely free, doesn't cost anything. I try to report all the breaking news there too. So like if something comes out that moves markets, we tend to post it. As well as like we stream it all live here like we always do. But yeah. I'm taking a look at like some stocks. Let's take a look at some stocks, see if we got some big movement here. First, I think we got to look at Nvidia. Nvidia's not really moving, so this drop ain't Nvidia. We got Apple. Apple's falling down some. Apple's tumbling down. It's at 199. So let's see if there's any Apple news. All right, so Evercore cut their price target, I think is what happened here. Yeah. Okay, so what I'm showing is Evercore ISI cuts Apple's price target to 250 from 275. Outperform rating is maintained. And so Apple had a price target cut for them, and that might be dragging it down a little bit. Here's Apple on the top right. Apple's one of the most heavily weighted stocks, too. So Apple falling down here is not really good for markets. It's not really healthy for Apple. So that could be what it is. I don't know. Amazon? What's Amazon doing? Yeah, Amazon's fallen. Yeah, is it Meta too? I forgot to look at Meta. So we're getting a little bounce back here. Meta's not really moving a lot. Yeah, I don't really see any other big news though besides the tweets. All right, so Charles Schwab tells investors to prioritize low volatility, high quality investments amid century high tariff turmoil. Yeah, markets are falling. We got 30 minutes until oof, dude. Somebody got me in a bicep slicer yesterday, dude. My arm still hurts, bro. Oof. All right, we're at 18,879s. I don't know what's gonna happen, man. AWS had some downtime at Binance. Some other crypto exchanges were down because of it. Really? Enrique, bro, you get choked out, bro. I'm just saying. You get choked out, dude. I really don't know. You might beat me. I don't know. I'm just joking. Depends on what belt are you. If you're a white belt, you'll definitely get choked out. All right, so we're coming back down to test these lows. We've been shorting most of the day here. We're green. Let's see what we get. Webull IPO'd yesterday. So again, Webull. BULL is their symbol. Honestly, they killed it, man. They did great. Look at Webull's IPO yesterday. Started off at like $10 a share, hit 50s today. I don't like IPOs at all. No, I just started. I'm old. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I don't know. Some old guys that have some surprising amount of strength, but like, there's just a difference, you know. Doesn't matter how big, strong you are. If you roll with like a blue belt or higher, they're just gonna throw you around. You know, that's how jiu-jitsu is. Like if you like I roll with this guy that, you know, he never really beat me. I don't think he's ever actually tapped me ever. But like I roll with this guy where he's a much bigger guy than me, like much bigger, like, you know, definitely heavier, probably about the same size, but just much bigger than me. And I remember when we were both white belts, like we used to roll a lot. And like I would usually get the best of him because I can guillotine him, and he would panic when I would guillotine him, and I would roll over into mount and like finish it. But he took like a long break, right? And so he came back, and, you know, I have my blue belt now, and I roll with him for the first time in like a year. And he just got thrown around, you know, like he got swept over and over again, you know, just it was just a different thing. Like if somebody knows how to grapple, it's very hard to stop. It's very hard to stop. And I'm not even claiming to be like super good. He didn't keep training. But there's just a difference, you know. It's a really fun sport, though. It's great exercise. I didn't realize the volume was muted. My bad, guys. I just realized the volume's muted. But it's a great sport. Great exercise, honestly. Get you in shape. Hey, nice B. Congrats, dude. Oh. Yeah, so Wedbush cut Amazon's price target to 225 from 280. Keeps the outperform rating. Yeah, but Amazon didn't really move much here. Like, they moved a little bit, but this news apparently came out here. And so I don't think that's why the market just dropped, personally. I mean, you can cry about me talking about jiu-jitsu, but I'm going to talk about whatever I want. And that's probably not why the market fell either, you know. Like, I can't just talk about finance here. It's going to get really boring really quick. You're going to run out of stuff to say, especially on days like today. There's nothing really going on. Like, today's boring. The market's boring. Nothing really moving. You know, we're in the middle of kind of like a crash correction market, but we're kind of slow today because everybody's already used to the crash correction stuff going on. Yeah, the 10-year yield has been getting aggressively high over the last couple weeks, which is kind of crazy because, like, people have been forecasting economic weakness as well. And in general, the 10-year tends to follow the interest rate sentiment. And so with interest rate sentiment, you know, typically weaker economic reports is going to mean a higher likelihood of rate cuts. But the 10-year treasury bonds, or the 10-year treasury yields have been going up since last Friday. Not this past Friday, but the Friday before that, they've gone up a lot. Now, yesterday they did decrease, though. So we did drop in 10-year treasury bonds, which does show a lower interest rate sentiment here, a lower interest rate sentiment. Well, somebody's shack size is different, right? Somebody's shack size, different thing. You know, but at the same time, you'd be surprised at how, like, we have this other white belt who's like a firefighter, and this dude has got to be like 6'7", just huge. Like, his arms are like freaking, you know, like, this dude's just freaking huge. But he's a pretty new white belt, and I still, like, I don't throw him around, but I'm still able to finish him over and over again, and he can't really stop it. And so you'd be surprised how well it stacks up against much larger people. Now, Shaq's size is different. Shaq's like 7 feet tall. Shaq's probably winning no matter what. And in jiu-jitsu, you can't slam. And so if slams are allowed, there's nothing I can do with Shaq. Shaq's going to throw me out the window and not even think twice about it, you know. So, anyways, market started dip. We're at 18.9s. 18.9s. I just got back into boxing. Any tips for recovery? I don't really know. I mean, boxing, I'm not really the best boxer. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Just keep doing it, I guess. I know with jiu-jitsu, you get back in shape pretty quick if you take breaks. But just keep going. Algo's hunting liquidity plus you had Canadian. Yeah, well, no, it's not 8:30 yet. So you have Canadian CPI inflation data at 8:30. We also have the New York Empire State Manufacturing Index. This all in 23 minutes or so. Canada CPI, common CPI, expected at 2.5%. Their core CPI and regular CPI is expected at 2.5% year over year for common CPI and 0.7% month over month for regular CPI. 2.6% year over year. I don't know if any of this is going to move markets. It all drops at 8:30 though. We still got 20 minutes left still. Yeah, I want to see what is the 10-year treasury yield at today. Let me see. 10-year treasury yield as of this morning is at 4.37%. So it's about flat on the overnight. It hasn't really moved overnight, the 10-year treasury yield. Market's bouncing back though. I do want to short this. I'll short it. There we go. Got a nice little rejection here. I'll add to it, although it's a risky add. I'll try to hold the rest break even. Now we took half off there, locked it out. It's small little gains here, but still pretty solid. It's taking too long to consolidate here. I'm just going to get out. So we made a little bit here. I don't know how much we're up. Let me see. Yeah, we're up some today. Yeah, we haven't had any losing days at all in April on this account. So we'll switch. We got a little cushion here. I still kind of want to short this though, but we got a little range away from the NASDAQ here. Yeah, so I think manufacturing data today is more interesting, which we have dropping in about 20 minutes. A little bit more interesting based off of everything going on. You know, tariffs obviously have implications towards manufacturing. And so we will see what that looks like. Gemini 2.5 is very accurate. All right, so I'm telling AI to build stuff with me. So we got a little pop. I don't know whether I want to keep shorting. I guess I do. I want to see if we come back down to the bottom of this range really quick here, but Amazon's fighting back up. Apple at 200s. How many people are doing dance videos to get paid? I don't freaking know, man. How tall am I? I'm like 5'11", 5'10" and a half or so. Like almost 5'11". I'm probably like 170 right now, 175. All right, I'm going to try to short this. We've had very good success shorting this recently. Just because we moved up and now we kind of went sideways. Yeah, I should round up to 6 foot, you know. I'm just hoping my son grows a little bit. I know I'm not the tall. I'm pretty normal height, pretty average height. But I was really short up until I was like 5th grade, 6th grade, if I remember correctly. But now they say that they can predict your kid's height by what height they are when they're really young. So I don't know. It's pretty low. I did one of those tests at my gym that I go to where they test my body fat. It's very low. Okay, I'm gonna add to this. We got a little confirmation in the downside. There we go. Take half off there. See if we can catch the race breakdown. So just made a little bit too. We've had very good success shorting this morning. I even looked at my stats, right? So I have this crazy good green streak going on. Apparently, I like the short side, guys. Like, look at my stats here. Out of 500 trades, or out of 600 trades, roughly, I am mostly going short. Yeah, so out of like 550 trades, 432 of them were short. 112 of them were long. I don't know why I've been shorting so much, but it's been working. I think maybe, I think the obvious answer is that we've been in a market crash. And so, of course, I'm going to be shorting more in a market crash. Obviously. Let's look at our poll. So our poll is 60-40 right now. 59% think yes, the U.S. does in a recession in 2025. 41% say no, it does not. And I don't know which one's right. I really don't know. We'll have to wait and see what the GDP data shows up as, which surprisingly, the GDP data is not showing up. Like, I think it's going to be... Hold on. I think the GDP data is like right on the last day of this month, if I remember correctly. It's like the 30th. Yeah, we got 80. Yeah, so Wednesday, April 30th, we got GDP data, PCE data, GDP data, non-farm employment data, all same day because of a holiday or something. Usually it's not like this, though. Usually they spread it out a little bit better, but... yeah, I mean, listen, we can insult my trading. These are my stats over the last few weeks. Really, this is back since like almost the last month. Hold on, let me show you. Hold on. I don't want to put too much pressure on myself, so I really don't want to show you guys like the actual amounts. But this is my trading stats. So we've had 9 green days in a row on this specific account. 9 green. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So far. We'll see if we can keep that up. But 9 green days in a row. Yeah, we are accurate. We win on about 3 out of every 4 trades, or 3 out of every 4 days we're green. 60% accuracy, roughly, right around 60%. Yeah, and if we take a look at like profits, these are the trade stats that we have. Yeah, so this is the last month. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No losing days for April so far. So we're doing pretty good. Honestly, my trading's actually going really well. I started building levels and attacking levels is what I started doing. And my trading drastically changed. Like drastically changed. These are the levels I see currently. And then we got like, I think we gotta look at both of these, like this here, as well as like this. See if we run into some of these. Still break it down though, so we are ranging back down. Well, 15 is different. I'm talking about like 5th grade, 6th grade. I hit a growth spurt, and I was like the shortest kid in my class. 4th grade, 5th grade. By 6th, 7th, 8th grade, I was not short anymore. Not really, you know. I'm just hoping my son's the same way. He's the shortest kid in his class. He's not the shortest kid, but he's one of them. I took him to get a haircut yesterday. He wanted a low taper fade. Apparently, that's like a meme right now. So. Any news today? Anything that can mess markets up? I don't know if it's going to mess markets up. We got 10 minutes before you got this data coming live, the Empire State Manufacturing Survey. We'll see if that moves anything. Empire State Manufacturing at 8:30. I think the broccoli cut is the meme. See, but Jack has my wife's hair. It's straight. It's the same color mine was when I was young, but it's Carol's consistency in hair. Straight. Mine's curly. Alright, so we're stopping right here. Let's see if we hold. NASDAQ's looking weak. Boosie fade. Look at this NASDAQ breaking down here, guys. Wow. Deep red over the last few minutes here. Deep red. Apple technically red on the day currently. Amazon breaking down. Yeah, just dumped under the low. Low of the day just now. Just dumped under. This last level here is the low of the day. Some type of news might have happened. Let's take a look. Canadian housing starts came out. Airbus CEO says making progress in union talks. Goldman Sachs files 3-part debt issuance. Citigroup came out with earnings early this morning. I don't really see anything that might move this down though. But NASDAQ is flushing here. The broccoli cut, yeah. I mean, I got curly hair, so I could do it if I wanted it. I'm not going to. I get the back tapered here, but like I'm not gonna do that cut. My girl left me yesterday. Should I go to the casino or is that bad thinking? You should definitely not go to the casino, bro. Yeah, you should definitely not go, you know. If that happened, bro, the best thing you can do is just kind of get your money right, man. Get your money right, start going to the gym. Figure it out. You know, go to the gym. Time heals those wounds, though. Alphabet spins off course its moonshot bet on solving supply chain headaches according to the information. I don't know what this means. All right, so market broke lows of the day, and now it's bouncing back a little bit. We got 6 minutes before the Empire State Manufacturing Index. 6 minutes. We got about 900 viewers right now. All right, so we cracked lows. Now we're bouncing back a little bit in markets here. We got 5 minutes. Bond yields did open up a little bit higher than expected, a little bit higher. Is the sound good? We turned my sound up a lot yesterday, so it should be really loud. So let me know if it's good. All right, guys, we got 5 minutes before we got all this other stuff coming live. 5 minutes. Empire State Manufacturing, Import-Export Price Index, Canadian inflation data going live in 5 minutes. NASDAQ still falling here quickly. All right, so we're still rejecting down here at 18,862s. Let's see if we crack this low again. I mean, I don't... I don't know if we're going to get this big momentum push. But from this data, I really don't know. I don't know if we're going to get any big influence over it. But the NASDAQ doesn't look like it needs it. It's still flushing this morning. All right, we just cracked that low again, low of the day. Still breaking down. We're at 18,815s. All right, guys, we got 2.5 minutes. 2.5 minutes. I'm surprised the market's not going up. He posted that a lot of necessary permits and will be expedited and quickly delivered to Nvidia. I'm surprised we're not getting bigger action there. Amazon breaking down, Apple breaking down, Nvidia breaking down. Honestly, cracking lows again ahead of this report. Weird. All right, we got about a minute left. 1 minute check. All right, guys, break it down. We're at 18.84s. 18.84s. Here we go. We got a minute and a half. 1.5 minutes. Hey, what's up? Appreciate the support, guys. Thanks. All right, guys. So we got 1 minute left. We got 1 minute left. Again, we got the Empire State Manufacturing Index going live here. Ooh. We got that data going live. We have import-export balance data. Empire State Manufacturing Index expected at -13. -13. Canadian inflation data. Import-export price data coming out too. So here we go. We got 45 seconds. 45. This timer's a little bit early. Ignore it. A little bit early. All right, here we go. 30 seconds. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and here's the report. Empire State Manufacturing stronger than expected, -8 versus -13 expected. -8 versus -13 expected. Canadian CPI also came in lower than expected on most fronts. 0.3% for CPI month over month for Canada versus 0.7% expected. Import-export data mostly came in flat. Import price index was flat, or no, it was negative, -0.1% versus 0.1% expected. Export price index was flat as well. Bank of Canada core CPI measured 2.66%. 2.66% for Canada here. Again, the New York Manufacturing Index, we did get a little bit of an upward move from this. Came in at -8.1 versus -14 or -13 expected. We also, again, got Canadian data show up. Most of it came in slightly better than expected for Canadian inflation, is what I'm showing. Mostly slightly better than expected. You can see the Empire State data right here. Again, Canadian CPI mostly showed up lower on all these fronts. Now, we'll see if this can rebound us back from the market that we're seeing here. We'll see if this drags us up. But yeah. No hat or bearish. Does me? I got a haircut too. Isn't that like a bullish or bearish thing? What is it? Y'all come up with this stuff. I don't know what it is. I don't know the direction based off of my haircut. Yeah, well, they complained yesterday because I was too quiet. They said I'm too quiet. Volume's not loud enough. They said all the other streamers got louder volume, bro. And so I need to go louder here. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I'm trying. We turned our volume up. Bearish is no hat. No hat is bearish. All right, market like this, I guess. Lower Canadian inflation and better manufacturing data. Again, we showed up at minus 0.8. Still a contraction in manufacturing, but it's better than expected. Bro, I'm not giving out signals. Traders are, what's the word? Superstitious. I'm not very superstitious, but I'm pretty stitious. Traders definitely superstitious. Top 3 best haircuts of all time. Definitely top 3. Worst ever. Jerome Powell actually talked about his time. But yeah, market's up on this report. Again, New York Empire State manufacturing data slightly more positive than expected at 8.1 versus minus 13, 14 expected. Previous was minus 20. So that's better. And then Canadian CPI showed low numbers here. Low numbers. No, they're not super low. Like Canadian CPI, just to walk you through it. The Bank of Canada core CPI measured 2.66% average, lower than 2.77 last time. Canadian core CPI month over month showed minus 0.2. Contraction in inflation month to month for core inflation data. 0.1% for CPI Bank of Canada core month over month. 2.3% for common CPI versus 2.5 last time. So better, Canadian manufacturing data showed 0.2 versus minus 0.2 expected. So it looks like both countries stronger manufacturing data than expected. Still contracting U.S. manufacturing, but stronger than expected. And again, U.S. export prices came in at 0 versus 0 expected. Yeah, I mean, we cracked lows of the day this morning. So this was the low of the day, I think, right? No, that's not it. Low of the day was right here. And now we're back above that. So here's the previous low. This yellow line I have right here is the previous low of the day on the NQ. That yellow line right there, previous low of the day. And also, guys, if you haven't already, check out TopStep. TopStep gives you a 50K demo. They test your skill. You pass the test, they fund you. You fail, you only lose what you pay for it. In this case, the base one is $49 a month. It's not the end of the world. And you guys know me, guys. Listen, I don't even claim to be a good trader, not an investment professional. But this is genuinely a great way to learn. Giving yourself a structured approach to trading teaches you how to trade under pressure, teaches you to follow rules. If you pass the test, it unlocks a 50K funded account with a 90% split. That's pretty similar to funding your own account. If you fail this, you only lose what you pay for it. $50, not the end of the world. And that's a lot cheaper than most day traders end up losing when they deposit thousands and losing thousands. Genuinely good for traders. Makes perfect sense to learn this way. And, even if you're good enough, you can then fund your own account and withdraw and then fund your own account. In the futures market, you can day trade the S&P, the Dow, the Russell, the NASDAQ, the QQQ price action, the SPY price action, gold, some currencies. Very similar to day trading stocks. It is just a great way to learn. And TopStep has paid out hundreds of millions of dollars to traders. They fund thousands of traders. Great way to learn. There's different options you can use. Just a great way to learn. If you want to check it out, here's the link. I also pinned this to the top of the page, which I should be, I think. They're an affiliate of mine, though. I am biased because I get paid by them. But still incredibly useful, I think. I wish I would have had something like this when I first got it. So check it out. There's the link. So this guy's breaking down how much Birkin bags actually cost. He said they use leathers from the top 3 leather makers. It will cost about $450 US for the leather. $450. Top leather. It's called Phil All from France. Rolls Royce and thread for each bag. The cost is $25 US. So $450 plus 25 for the current. This hardware is called 316 hardware, also known as the Ocean stainless steel. So for the stainless steel emblem, best stainless steel for one bag, hardware will cost 150 USD. The edge oil is imported from Italy. It's called Heat Seal edge oil. For each bag, it will cost $50. Interior lining, lambskin imported from France. That will cost $100. I'm calculating this, guys. And then there's a zipper, Riri brand zipper. For one bag, 10 USD. And then the cost of human resource, French artisans, much more expensive, $600. And the package, yeah, so in total, it's going to be $1,400 to make one Birkin bag. $1,400 is honestly more than I thought it would be. All right, look at the market bouncing back up. We're at 18.9 thousand. Birkin bags, to clarify, are like 20, 30 grand, 20, 30K, 40K, you know. So they're making 40X on that, basically, or something like that. They're making like 25X. But still, that's a lot. All right, guys, we're about to back up. Watch this 18.9 level. Watch this 18.9 level. Why aren't you working on Wall Street, bro? Because number one, I'm not an investment professional. Number two, I don't want to be one, bro. Honestly, I make enough sitting on my computer talking about stocks. You help Jack with this?
Oh, not yet.
Love you.
Where is it?
I don't know. Check the black car. It's in there probably. I think it's in there somewhere. So just check. Dude. Well. I sit on my chair at home and I make enough to not need to go to Wall Street. You know. Alright, guys. We are at 18.9s right now. 18.9s. I don't really talk too much. I mean, I'm the only person on a live stream. And so you better believe I gotta talk. If I just sit here quietly, you know, people are gonna yell at me for that too. All right, so Bank of America CEO said does not see a recession in 2025 and no rate cuts. Adds the consumer keeps pushing money into the economy. So again, we got this news. Yeah, so look at this news that just came out again. Bank of America CEO. I'm assuming this is during their earnings call. They had earnings this morning for Bank of America, so I'm assuming this is the call that they have going on. They do not see us entering a recession this year. It depends on what GDP is. GDP drops on the 30th in 2 weeks. So that is what is going to influence this. Alright. Yeah, y'all hit that like button. Hit the notification bell. Yeah, if it says your account's not showing my channel, you just gotta hit the like button, you know. Like, it all has to do with your own algorithm. I mean, we got 900 people here already, so there was a time when we averaged like 4, 5, you know, for our small streams, and then our large streams, you know, we'd get like obviously more, but streams have been doing honestly really well. Yeah, I mean, I'm from Louisiana. I'm gonna say y'all. What do you want me to say? Use? Use, guys, go over there and hit the like button, eh? Come on now. Market's bouncing back, though. Look at this. Rebounding back up here. All right, so we hit that 8. Look at that level. We hit 18,925 right on the dot there too. Yeah, I'm not from New Orleans. Oh, you're from New Orleans. Yeah, I mean, I'm from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. My accent's kind of gone, though. I've lived in Texas, and not only that, but I've run this live stream for an extended period of time, and I think my accent just kind of goes. I'm from an hour away from New Orleans, so I'm from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. So Baton Rouge doesn't have like the thickest accent, if that makes sense. Like, it's not as bad. It's not as deep of an accent as like New Orleans or the Bayou or, whatever, Lafayette. Just not as thick. And I think running the stream long enough has made it kind of... Johnson & Johnson expects approval of one of their drugs later this year is adjunctive treatment for major depressive order. Ugh. All right, guys. So the timer's already done here. Very much informative. Keep up the good work. Hey, thank you. Yeah, I'm from where Lil Boosie's from. I've met Lil Boosie actually. Long time ago. I met him in for anybody from Baton Rouge. I met him in Cortana Mall, which no longer exists. I was in the Mall of Cortana or Cortana Mall, which is now I think an Amazon warehouse. I met him and Webby, and they signed my friend's hat. All right, so look, we're bouncing right off of my levels here. Look at this. Part of me wants to short this again, though. Maybe I'm getting a little greedy shorting, though. I've mostly been short all morning. My levels are holding very well, though, here, so. Not this song, bro. I gotta change this. There we go. All right, we got Tesla down at 250s. Tesla had a resurgence back up, but now it's getting kind of rejected here. It's at 250s. It's not as bad as its lows. It hit lows of like 215s or so. Still not looking good. A lot of stuff's red. See, look, we're bouncing off of my levels here. Look at this. Top 3 greatest levels of all time. Look at these. I don't know what I want to do with this. Part of me wants to short. This looks weak. You know what? If we get a little pop, I'll short it. That's a pop. We got a cushion on the day. Let's see if we break down some more. There we go. I'm gonna add to this. Took half off. Then we retraced. See if we can add again to it. Bad add level, but that's all right. I'll take some off there just to protect. We got out. It's just taking too long. Baby steps here. Baby steps. Very choppy range here, though, Chad. I'm hoping we get some better action now, but not been good for markets here. Market's just kind of flat, sideways, consolidating. What is this song, bro? Come on now. There's supposed to be no lyrics here. Look at Apple pop back though. That's the risk here. Look at Apple. Apple surging back. If Apple drags everything else up, we'll see if it continues. Very choppy day though, man. We're slightly down in a lot of stuff though. We're getting almost back to the top of this range. We'll see if it holds. Got a triple top up here though. So we've traded 3 different funded accounts. We're green on all of them today, but not much. Let's see if we tap the top of this range again. You mean Lafayette? I mean, that's probably the real name way to pronounce it, but Lafayette is what I say. I say Baton Rouge, Lafayette, New Orleans. Yeah. But everybody's different, right? Like one thing from Louisiana, there's a lot of different accents there. All right, so we are heading back up. Here's the 200 exponential here. Yeah, Webull had their IPO. They did really well, honestly, on their IPO for Webull. It's down a little bit this morning, but it's over 50. IPO'd at like 10, so. New Orleans. That's where Nolans comes from, New Orleans. All right, so we're right at the 200 exponential right here. Let's see if it moves. Oh, here, let me change the title. I didn't even realize. Let me figure out. All right, so there's the 200 EMA. We tapped it. We still got 30 minutes left until the opening bell, though, so we got a little time. All right, so China says it will only engage in trade talks with the U.S. if its leaders show respect for Beijing. So that just came out. Again, China says it will only engage in trade talks with the U.S. if its leaders show respect for Beijing. Bitcoin, where's Bitcoin at right now? All right, Bitcoin currently at 80, right under 86,000. Up a little bit on the day. Flat yesterday. All right, so U.S. Redbook year over year came in at 6.6%. Previous was 7.2%. That just dropped about a minute ago. We're still over that 200 EMA here. I'm still watching this 18,925 level on my charts. Hey, what's up, Tiny? Yeah, I mean, Bitcoin's come back a ways. Like, it's looking good. We're at 86,000 right now, 86,000. So we're slightly over it now. For Bitcoin futures, that is. That's what I'm watching is Bitcoin futures. I'm still watching the market test that 200 exponential moving average. So are we bullish? I don't know, man. I really don't know what we should be here today. I really don't. We don't really have any other data today. We got the opening bell coming soon, but I really don't know. All right, market's still pushing up. I'm watching 18,950 or 18,960. Here's 18,950 here. It could be either one. It could be either this level or this level that rejects it. It looks like so far it's actually rejecting a little bit off of 18,950. 18,960 might work as well. Nvidia's starting to bounce back, though. That's one of the things driving this market. Sorry, I forgot to... let me put the music back up. There you go. Yeah, so TopStep just gave out a reset to everybody that traded last week. A free reset. Since the volatility was crazy, they gave out a free reset to everybody that traded. And again, the link is pinned at the top of the chat if anybody wants to check it out. Does the president sign executive orders at 2:30 for what? All right, so I'm using AI to confirm this. Markets are still trying to push up over the 200 EMA. Apple at 200 point, almost 201s right now. All right, so I'm having AI confirm if there's a 2:30 executive order signing today. I don't know if that's going to move markets. It might, though. There's no indication today, but there might be. This is what it says. Sideways all day. Yesterday we were sideways most of the day. Today we also have Jerome Powell tomorrow. We have retail sales tomorrow. Thursday we have jobless claims, and then the market is closed on Friday. So we'll see what happens. All right, so we did get over 18,950. All right, let me check financial juice if you're saying that's what's doing it. Canadian home sales fall 4.8% in March. Citigroup said there's obviously a great deal around uncertainty with tariffs, deregulation, tax policy, downward pressure on growth. But I don't see anything about a executive order. You know, not that I see here. I don't see anything there. When was it posted on Financial Juice? Let's check. Yeah, I see no results from that. Maybe, again, if you give me the time they posted it, it's different. But okay, I do see somebody say he's set to sign executive orders at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time Tuesday. So I do see this. Yeah, so now I actually see it's scheduled at 2:30 today too, as well here. So it looks like that's legit. They should have given you an email about it, about the code. All right, guys, we got 20 minutes left. 20 minutes left. And remember, tomorrow we got Jerome Powell. We got lots of stuff. He's going to sign an executive order. Yeah, it's only for people that had active Top Step accounts yesterday. Or last week is what it is. Alright, so again, we did reject right around 960, which is what we talked about. I thought it would reject at one of these two levels. It's starting to break down a little bit. We'll see what the opening bell gives us. I mean, I think we're obviously still in a pretty strong upward trend this morning. But, who freaking knows, man? So we tap this level again. I just don't want to see us break it now. We did go red in one of these accounts that we're on. I don't want to... Let's try to get back over that 960 level here. A little surge. It's trying to break, but struggling. We still got 19 minutes or so left. 19 minutes. So look, there's 960 again, bounced right off of it. You know, we got Nvidia right here at this previous close. I don't want to see us rip back up against it, of course. But it's trying. Yeah, there we go. It's ripping up. Still making a move up. Look at this. So now we're going to pivot to long. Yeah, there's just been so much volatility here. Look at that big candle wick here, dude. Honestly, I was going to buy it too. A little too late for that now, I think. Nvidia did reject the previous closing price, though, so I might short this. Very small range here for this. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and cut it. Just made a little $20 quickly here, attacking it. I kind of got over this level it's been fighting for all morning, though. We got 15 minutes until the open. Yeah, here goes Nvidia coming back down. So Nvidia's been influencing the market. It got up to this 110 level right here on the chart. You can kind of see this light blue line right here. That's the previous closing price for Nvidia. You can kind of see Nvidia like went right up to that level here and then rejected, came back down some. Market's now choppy and flat. All right, guys, we got exactly 15 minutes. Exactly 15 minutes. Very choppy market. Nvidia, Apple's been rebounding back up. It's still over the 200 exponential, though. Yeah, I mean, you got to find the email yourself. They sent me the email. to go back and figure out which one they did. Yeah, they said markets have been tough for a lot of traders. This kind of volatility is something new. We can't control the market, but we know how frustrating it can be. To show you that we understand and appreciate you, we've applied a free reset to your bank. That's cool. I said last week the CME triggered velocity logic multiple times, pausing trading due to extreme volatility. All right, we got the sideways range. We got Nvidia breaking down to 110. We got 10 minutes left until market opens, guys. 10 minutes left. It's kind of a boring market right now. We don't really have a lot of stuff going on here. Nvidia's still falling down some. But again, you can kind of see this level holding. Look at 950 confirm again here. Look at that 10-year yields, currently at 4.38%. 10-year yields. We got the opening bell in 10 minutes here, chat. Look at Nvidia fall down to 110s here. So Nvidia's still coming down. Apple's still red on the day. Why don't you trade the S&P? Because the market is... The NASDAQ's more volatile and volatility is better for day trading. I don't know. Check your emails, guys. I can't give you the link. I don't know. Check your emails. Yeah, I'm not going to be trading Friday. Market's closed. Yeah, kind of slow, but we got better market action coming sometime soon, hopefully. Tomorrow we got Powell, we got retail sales. Thursday we got jobless claims. So we got a lot more stuff coming now. Just a little boring here. Your levels are the market. We try, bro. We try. Honestly, and this is really like, if you look at my system here, right, the levels that I've been using to, like, I can't predict direction here, but this is how I've had all these green days here. Like, I've had all these green days is pulled directly from my platform. And the way I've been able to do that is by, like, building good levels, good solid, like, support and resistance levels that work. Like, that's what I've been using. Yeah, that's what I've been doing here. Ugh, dude, my bicep is sore. I got a biceps slicer on my right bicep yesterday. It's still sore, dude. Yeah, I mean, that's so I mean, you got to understand context. Like, there's a lot of trades in a specific week, but you got to understand, like, I'm scaling in, scaling out of positions with micros, right? So these are micro contracts, and so they're not regular NASDAQ contracts. These are micro contracts. So I'm scaling in, and then I'm scaling out of positions. And so in one actual trade, I might take 20, 30 trades, or 20, 30 transactions, like scaling in, scaling out. I might take 10 or 15 maybe per trade is a better way to look at it. Like, adding to it slowly, taking profits slowly, taking profits slowly. So that's going to make it reflect a lot more on some weeks. But even like today, right? Today we've had 4 trades total on the account. So, like, it varies. It depends. All right, guys. Hey, we got 6 minutes. 6 minutes. All right, 4 minutes or 5 minutes left. Look at this breakdown under. I might short this if we get an opportunity here. We only got 5 minutes. Okay, I'm definitely not shorting it now. Look at that retracement back up here. So this is the MOC going on right now. All right, guys, 4 minutes left. Sometimes you might want to do 10 ES. How do you make support and resistance levels? I mean, I just use confirmation. You know, I use a mix of like confirmation and milestone psychological levels that traders tend to kind of flock to and watch. It's hard to explain. Yeah, I use the 1 minute 200 exponential, which is right here, but everybody's different. Some people are going to like longer term, some people shorter. Like, that's going to vary. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not an investment professional, guys. Like I always tell people, I don't even claim to be a good trader. I just let you guys watch my trading. And you guys can watch me get better. Y'all can watch me get worse. Whatever you guys think. I mean, it doesn't matter. But I try to let you guys watch it. And of course, I do trade off stream. Like, you're not going to see all my trades. Sometimes I lose off stream, you know. But I try to show you guys like how I do it and like what's been working and what hasn't been working for me. All right, guys, 3 minutes until the opening bell. Chat, 3 minutes. And again, give me a follow on x.com. We've honestly been growing this a lot. It's at Beginner Trades. At Beginner Trades. Hey, thank you, Steph. All right, look at this rip ahead of the opening bell, guys. Wow. Is this news? Is this news related? Johnson & Johnson CEO says tax policy, not tariffs, is the most effective way to build manufacturing capacity in the U.S. for medical devices and pharma. Nvidia RTX Ti graphic cards equipped with 16 or 8 gig graphics memory available April 16th. Nvidia Blackwell GeForce RTX arrives starting at $299. All right, guys, 1.5 minutes left. 1.5 minutes left. I'm trying to see if we got any news to move. Canada is going to provide temporary 6-month release from counter tariffs for goods imported from the U.S. that are used in manufacturing, processed, and food and beverage packaging via the Finance Ministry. All right, guys, here's the opening bell. Again, I don't know if that news that I just covered about Canada temporary 6-month relief from counter tariffs. Yeah, that's what it is. Temporary 6-month relief from counter tariffs. Market liked it. Up. Nvidia up to 111s. Apple up to 202s here. All right, guys, here we go. 20 seconds. Bro, my taxes, I just finished paying my taxes, and I'm really not happy about it, to be honest. It was so much, dude. So much. Like, I have paid more taxes in the last 6 months than I would say most people here make. You know? All right, guys. So, market pulling back a little bit at the opening bell. There's the open. I'm not even bragging. I'm really just mad about it. It's just way too much taxes. All right, AMD pushing. A lot of stuff's going up at the opening bell. At least Nvidia is. Apple is. Look at Apple. Look at Nvidia. Amazon coming down, though. Amazon at 180s. AMD pumping up, though, to 95s. But look at Amazon fall. So Amazon's where it's kind of flat. So Amazon's falling down at the open. AMD's pushing up. Apple's pushing up. Netflix is pushing up. Tesla's going down. So weird. So Amazon down, Tesla down, AMD up, Netflix up, Apple up, Nvidia up. What about Meta here? Meta seems kind of flat. Meta's down a little bit, but not much. No, I'm not making 7, Tony. Not this year. Not last year, I mean. All right, guys. So look at that 19,000 level. 19,000 a big level. Look at that. We tapped it. All right, here's the retest of 19K. Honestly, some strength is showing up, though. Look at Nvidia, up to almost 112s. We're tapping that level, that 19,000. Yeah, I mean, I had to transfer my business to an S corporation because I was just getting, like, you know, 6-figure tax bills. Just hurts to pay. It just hurts to pay that much. You know, that plus sales tax plus everything else. Like, you get taxed in so many different freaking ways. It just hurts. S corps are useful because you can pay yourself a salary, deduct that salary from your taxable income, and then because you're an S corporation and not a sole proprietorship or something like that, you don't have to pay your self-employment tax. right, which is 14%. So you save 14% and you get to reduce your taxable income by whatever you pay yourself as a salary. And so it makes sense. All right, we'll pop it up here. I'm not a tax professional, though. Always do your own assessment. Figure it out. Ask a CPA, not me. All right, so we broke 19,000. I think I got to look at 1940 here. Very strong market open, though. Very strong. Tesla rebounding back up. Tesla at 250s. AMD up. Meta up. Amazon rebounded all the way since the opening bell, too. Amazon dipped at the open and now rebounded back up pretty fast here. All right, so here's 1940s. Tapped it. Look at that. It doesn't mean you're going to hold either. There's a lot of momentum showing up in markets right now. A lot of strength. I got to wait a couple minutes before I start trading aggressively. Yeah, so I just lost one of my other funded accounts that was down big on. I have 5 funded accounts. One of them I was just down a lot. And so I just took a swing with a regular NQ just for transparency purposes and lost it. It didn't have much left, though. You know. But so far, so good on our main ones. I think at a certain point, you just got to swing on those. Yeah, I mean, my poll is 60% recession, but that doesn't mean we're actually going to hit that or not. Honestly, I was going long in this too, so it might have worked here, but yeah, I mean, it also depends on, like, it depends on a lot of stuff. Like, we're busy. I'm not going to be able to respond to everybody. It also depends on, like, how much people complain. If I feel like they're just complaining in every post, then I just kind of tune them out sometimes. It's just easier to. Nice, so look at that dip here. Look at Apple. So this looks like a catalyst-driven drop on Apple. Let me make sure, though. I'm going to short this. It's a little risky here into this 19,000 level. And just get punished here. All right, my hands are off for now. We're now red on the, like, we're green on our main one with 11 or 8 green days, but man, this range is too big up and down. I mean, we're down like $30 on this account right now, so not the end of the world, but man, these candlesticks are big. A lot of wicks here. We're testing 19,000, so I'm just going to probably slow. You never complain. I don't even know if you do complain or not. It's not even like I'm trying to ignore anybody. I could check though. Let me see. Yeah, you don't really complain that much. It's not like I'm trying to ignore you, you know. All right, now we're right back up here too. I don't know what to do here. This is Apple. Yeah, you're good, Tiny. No worries. Yeah, I got to slow it down. I don't want to risk too much. Met at 530s. Momentum too strong to the upside, but the last time I went long, I got a huge red candle, like a huge red candle. Tesla 250s. And again, if you want to use Top Step X, zero commission on Top Step X, you can look at the link attached to the top of this page. Nah, you're cool, Sam. Again, I'm not ignoring anybody, bro. I have to ignore most people. What I do is I answer questions that I find interesting, right? Like, I respond to questions I find interesting. And so it's not like I'm trying to ignore anybody. I'm just responding to interesting things, trying to make it an interesting conversation, you know? All right, we're breaking highs again here, moving up. And again, my trading was great in pre-market. It's not so great after the opening bell. Tesla broke highs. A lot of stuff's ripping though. Very green. I did check. I'm actually still green, pretty green on the year. All right, should we short this big pop? I think I have to try. I'm watching 1975. We'll add 2 to it. All right, just made about $20 there. We caught that. We're basically flat on the day now. Oh, we got a combine account that we could trade on too. Market's trying to go up there. I'm watching that 975 level. I could short that too here, but the momentum's a little strong for me right now, to be honest. Still trying to get up there. Look at that 7.5 level, bro. I gotta trust my own levels here. Yeah, this is your one message for the week, Joker. Now that I've read it, I'm going to tune you out for the rest of the week, bro. What do you think of Bank of America's budgeting for 4 rate cuts in 2025? What are the rate cut odds right now here, too, man? I'm looking at them. The likelihood of a rate cut has gone down so much. At this point, it's only 16%. 16% odds. Look at this rips here though, man. Wow. Nvidia back up to almost 112. So Apple's still surging up. Meta rebounded big on the day too. AMD did as well. Netflix did too. Netflix is up to 960s. Tesla up to 254s. Try to go green on the day. I'd like a short, but I need up there. I don't know if I'm going to get it. Maybe under 19.75 we'll attack one. But yeah, that's what I'm trying to do it for, Joker. I'm trying to make it special, bro. So there's the rejection under. I'll short a pop, but it's risky. All right, we'll add to this. Ah, we were green. We added to it. All right, we took half off there somehow. Got out green. I'll add another piece to this too. Ooh, I don't like that at all. We're getting too close to those highs up there with the momentum on the other side. Alright, I'm going to try to attack this. There we go. It didn't give me a good fill there. Come on now, I was green. There we go. We're close to flat on the day, but all right, we're green. All right, so we made ourselves back to green in this account. Very small though. Attacking that 7.5 level again, but it took a little while. Yeah, it could be tariff relief. Yeah, that's why I try to short these pops. Like, I like shorting highs of the day a lot more than I like buying them. Look at 40 here, holding support, heading back up to 70s. And you can kind of see how I use my levels. Again, we're green. We can usually end green if we try hard enough and get lucky, but kind of boring right now. We got some stuff going down tomorrow, though. We got retail sales data. All the way back up to 7.5s. Let's see if it holds. I'm worried about going to jiu-jitsu today, too, because my bicep freaking hurts, dude. My bicep and my forearm is, like, bruised. I can feel it. I'm trying to see if there's a Fed speaker right now. It's not boring, don't get me wrong. The NASDAQ is honestly moving a little bit, but I just don't know if it's going to hold. Tesla breaking highs again, starting to head up. Netflix broke highs. Tesla broke highs. AMD testing highs. Falconer says conversations are occurring on the SLR, investigating the extent that SLR bonds in times of stress. And so if you want to know what that means, AMD had highs, Netflix had highs. SLR is the supplementary leverage ratio. It's a key bank regulation established after 2008. Requires large banks to hold a minimum amount of capital relative to their assets, regardless of how risky they are. Think of it as a simple, broad measure ensuring banks have basic capital cushion against size. Binds is when a regulation binds, it means it's the most restrictive rule that the bank has to follow at that moment. Banks have multiple capital requirements they must meet. If the SLR calculation demands they hold more capital or limit their asset growth more severely than any other rule, the SLR is the binding constraint on their activities. Basically, they're calculating the extent at which they have to follow the SLR rule for banking. All right, there's 19 ones. I was thinking about attacking it, but the momentum on the upside is too strong here. Yeah, he predicts tariff negotiations going to work out. That might be what's causing pops in markets here. Airbus CFO or CEO says Airbus exposed to tariffs for international movements of parts to U.S. plants, looking for ways to mitigate this disruption. Tesla's still running though. Tesla at 256 right now, 256 for Tesla. $19.1 hit too, man. Momentum's good on the upside. I'm getting a little greedy maybe here by wanting to short it. I could buy 7.5 here too, but it's almost too easy. I just gotta wait. All right, Tesla at 255s. Amazon just went green on the day technically here. I'm going to short. We're up a little bit too much. See if we can get some better momentum here. Take some average into this. We got a little cushion here. Take half off. Small, but maybe add back on a retest, but I do want to get out pretty quickly. I don't want it to move back up and fill this candle wick and go up like it's doing right now. This is what I wanted to avoid. I just want to see if we hold here. Yeah, I got to cut it. Doesn't look like it's going to. So we still got this one in case it rejects. But there we go. Made that right back. Alright, well somehow we made money on that string of trades, but it wasn't a lot. But we're up some, so that's good. That 115 level did hold really nicely. Gold? Is gold going down? Yeah, I mean, gold's just retracing some on a strong market day. Strong market open. You know, every time gold goes down doesn't mean it's weak necessarily. Like, gold's still around all-time highs. Wait, let me see. Yeah, all-time highs are 32.63. Gold is at 32.30, so it's $30 away from all-time highs. So, I mean, it's still very strong. I mean, it's not weak at all. It doesn't look weak to me, at least. Nah, the news is basically done today. Tomorrow we have retail sales, Jerome Powell speaking, and more. But today the news is basically done. All right, Meta at 535. So I'm watching Meta kind of dip a little bit down to the volume weighted average price. Amazon's still green. AMD breaking highs up there, going up. So the president says there is a chance that money from tariffs could be so great that it would replace income tax. He said this on Fox. Yeah, so apparently China is protesting the tariffs by exposing the most popular American brands through TT videos. China has confirmed that over 80% of the luxury items purchased for tens of thousands of dollars are manufactured in China and packaged in the U.S. Shoes. You know, again, we went over Birkin earlier. So, like, Birkin bags, it showed how much I saw one of these videos that showed how much they make the Birkin bags for. Like, how much the material and labor costs total. It was like $1,650. Like $1,650 for a Birkin bag. If you look at how much a Birkin bag actually costs, they're 40 grand, 30 grand, 35, 40 grand for a Birkin bag. I don't care how much money I have, bro. Listen, the only way I would ever buy my wife a Birkin bag is if I was a literal billionaire, a billionaire, okay? It makes absolutely no sense. And this is coming from somebody that buys watches regularly, you know, like that has, you know, some watches. But watches, specifically Rolexes, hold their value. This is the difference. I could buy a Rolex, wear it for 5, 10, 15 years, and I'm probably going to make money wearing that watch for a decade, right? You buy a Birkin bag, in 10 years, that Birkin bag is going to be all but useless. It's going to be a piece of freaking leather, you know? There's a huge difference there, you know? So, like, no matter how much money I make, I'm never buying a Birkin bag. I don't care how much money I make. I would have to be a literal billionaire to buy a Birkin bag. It's just flushing money down the freaking toilet trying to look rich. It just makes no sense. Makes no sense. Like, if, you know. Like, I'll buy a Louis Vuitton bag for my wife. Like, I have before, you know. But there's a difference, I think. Birkins do not hold better than a Rolex. This is why. Okay, listen. This is why. A Rolex is made of metal, meaning in 10 years, if you take care of it, it's going to look virtually identical to what it looked like 10 years ago. Okay? The thing about bags and leather is that they stretch, they become obviously used, right? Like bags are obviously used. Bags are wildly different than Rolexes. Rolexes are made of steel. Meaning, in 10 years, they're going to hold up. A handbag made out of leather in 10 years. Look, I have a wife. It's going to look stretched. It's going to look stretched, beat up, like worn down, in 10 years. It's going to lose all of its value, basically, at least 50, 70% of it. That's the difference. Yeah, I'm not saying you can't buy a Birkin bag and never use it and then sell it in 10 years for more than you paid for it. I'm not saying that's not possible. What I'm saying is that if you actually, like, I can buy a Rolex, wear it for 10 years and then sell it. You know, there's a difference. There's just a big difference. All right, market's pulling back right at that 115 level. Let's see if it holds. Some are made of gold, some are made of steel. Definitely top 3 best and worst bags in the world right now. Yeah, I mean, Birkin's, like, the problem, again, everybody knows what I'm saying here. Like, all those arguing that they hold their value, again, you're missing the point. You're missing the point. If you wear that bag for 10 years, in 10 years, it's going to be super worn down. You know? That's what I mean. I'm not saying if you never use it, it's not going to hold its value. Of course it might, because it's never used. You never used it. You know? I'm saying in 10 years, if you use that bag, it's not going to look like the same bag. You know, the value is going to diminish drastically in 10 years if you wear that bag for 10 years straight. Versus wearing a Rolex for 10 years straight is steel. You know, you might not even notice it's been, you know, as long as you polish it. But I digress. Yeah, Rolexes are also much more liquid, much more trackable market if we're talking about luxury goods. All right, guys. Hey, Netflix flying up 970s right now. 970s. This really what's been dragging the market up here. I mean, you could polish a Rolex if you want. Like, again, if you have some type of, like, period piece Rolex, meaning, like, if you got, like, a 1980s Batman, yes, do not polish that, you know. Or maybe Batmans weren't made back then. If you've got, like, a 1980s Pepsi Rolex, yeah, do not polish that Rolex, right? But if I've got a 2020 Batman and it's got a little scratch on it, I'm going to polish it because it's not, you know, who cares? Yeah, I think the new Land Dweller's nice. I don't know if I'm going to buy it, but I think it's cool. All right, anyways, and maybe I'm biased. Top 3 most biased person ever in the world right now. Anyways, if you want to check out Top Step, great way to help support the channel. Check them out. I'm going to get out of here. I'm green in a couple accounts. We did lose one of our old funded accounts that was down big. I'm not going to cry about it, but I'm definitely going to cry a little bit about it. But if you want to check them out, great way to learn day trading. Check them out. Here's the link. Link is pinned to the top of the chat, actually. Check that out. Link is in the description as well. As always, not an investment professional. I'm not liable if you lose. I'll see you guys later. Y'all be safe. Be good. I'll see you guys. Y'all be safe in this market. That's right. We cry together. Later, Keegan, Prime, Pawn, Tiny, Leo, everybody else here. Later, guys.